is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla in the Narrowgate Security Agency studios.
Well, armed with secure identities as Americans, people of all persuasions jumped on board the Trump train.
Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. After all the campaigning, primaries, conventions, debates, commercials, speeches, and plenty of drama, Americans will now decide, Trump or Clinton. It is now time to select our next president of the United States. Same old corruption and pay-to-play politicians? Or do we make America great again? Today, we look at how we got here and look ahead to the historic vote. We'll hear from Donald Trump and Sarah Palin, and we'll break down the race as voters head to the polls. Sarah Palin stumps for Trump and gets set to join him on election night. A brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert is on the way from Texas. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. The Palin Update is sponsored by Narrowgate Security Agency. Learn more at narrowgate.com. Donald Trump was laughed at when he entered the race for the Republican nomination. He was told he couldn't do it. After all, he was going up against party bosses, establishment hacks, and the go-along-to-get-along crowd from Washington. Trump would rock the boat. Well, that's exactly what he did. Mr. Trump defeated a GOP field that had 17 contenders in order to take on Hillary Clinton for the White House. Way before Trump secured that nomination, he appeared on this program, and we have backed him every step of the way. When I sat down with Mr. Trump, he told us candidly about his positive feelings for Governor Sarah Palin.
Could you see maybe picking up the phone, giving the governor a call, picking her brain on some things, or perhaps having her along in some official capacity?
I mean, I'd love that because she really is somebody that knows what's happening, and she's a special person. She's really a special person, and I think people know that, and she's got a following that's unbelievable.
Trump went on to discuss the big issues.
If you listen to some people, we're told that climate change is the biggest thing that is affecting us right now, not a little thing called ISIS, perhaps.
Yeah, no, ISIS is a big problem, and nuclear is a big problem because the power of the weapons, that's going to be your climate change if we're not careful. That there's, the real climate change is going to be nuclear climate change if we're not smart and tough and very, very careful, because that's a big danger, and that's a real danger. And, I think Obama just said that the biggest threat we have on the planet today is climate change. And a lot of people are saying, did he really say that? We have people chopping off heads, and he's talking about climate change. And it's just, I call it weather. The weather changes. You look back, and they were calling it global cooling and global warming and global everything. But you look back, and the biggest tornadoes were in the 1890s. The biggest hurricanes were in the 1860s and 1870s. And it's weather, and you're going to have bad weather. And so often I'll watch the evening newscasts, and every time there's a rainstorm someplace, and then they wonder why they don't do well. They say it's raining here, it's raining there, and, usually leading the program. And, I call it weather. And maybe there's a little bit of change. I don't happen to believe it's man-made. And you know what? If it is, you're going to have to start working on China because they're polluting the air more than anybody. And, we're going to hurt our factories. We're going to hurt everything, and they're not doing anything to address it. So before we start, wrecking and just wreaking havoc on what we have, they better start talking to the folks over in China, because you talk about if there is such a thing, wait till you see. I mean, take a look at the pollution that they're spewing into the air.
And we talked about the parallels between Trump and President Reagan.
A name that's been brought up lately with your run has been Ronald Reagan. They say a lot of people said some of the same things about Reagan at the time, who came from a different position as an actor and jumped into the fray in politics and wound up, after a couple of tries winning. What do you think of those comparisons?
Well, I was friendly with him. I was very young, and he actually thought that he said to somebody, that's a very smart guy. That's a very smart guy. But I have pictures of him when I was very young in my 20s, and I worked with him. I helped him with a campaign once, and not hugely, but I helped him a little bit, and as a young guy, and I was a big fan of Ronald Reagan. He had a great way about him. He had a great sense about him. You looked at him, you said, there's our president, and he really had that whole presidential demeanor, better than people that we've seen since, certainly.
We also found out that Mr. Trump was quite appreciative of the admiration from Governor Palin.
Early on, when the attack started against your campaign, Sarah Palin said you must be doing something right. I'm paraphrasing here, but because they're coming after you, and that's what they do, when they're scared of someone that's a real threat. And then more recently, she referred to you as a hero. High praise from the governor.
Well, I just can tell you, she's just an amazing woman, and honestly, she should be given, and she's given great credit, but she should be given even more credit because she is somebody that people respect and admire, and she speaks for so many people. I don't even think she knows how important she is, okay? And maybe that's part of the beauty of Sarah Palin. But I just see it all over, and so many people revere her, and so I just think it's great. I think she's terrific.
We've seen so many people in Washington who are bought and sold. They go along to get along. You come in, people try to bash you for your success, try to bash you for your money, which is unbelievable. You would think in America this would be a great thing, the success that you've had, a true American success story. And I think that's one of your assets here. You don't need any help from special interest. You don't need to play ball with anyone. You're set in that department. You can come out and do what you feel is right to, as you say, make America great again. And I think that's the overall message going forward?
Well, it's right. It's make America great again. In fact, I copyrighted the phrase. People started using the phrase. It was my phrase. I came up with it, and I had it copyrighted. And people see the kind of standing ovations. I get the biggest crowds and the biggest standing ovations by far. And all of a sudden, some of the other candidates started using the phrase, but I had it copyrighted, so they're not allowed to actually use it, which even surprises me. But anyway, it's a good phrase, and the word again is a key word in there because right now this country's going down. It's going down badly and quickly. And Sarah understood that maybe earlier than most, but our country's going down, and we have to make it great again.
Well, Mr. Trump, you're giving a lot of people hope, and it's certainly been entertaining, and we are enjoying your message on the trail and watching you all the way. We're praying for you, rooting for you, and hope to talk to you again. And we thank you so much for joining us today.
That's really nice. And say hello to the whole Palin family. It's an amazing group of people, that I can tell you. I know numerous of them, and Todd is fantastic. And just give them all my regards, okay?
You got it, sir. Thanks again.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Then a few months after my chat with Mr. Trump, Sarah Palin in January became the first big conservative name to officially get on the Trump train.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be in Iowa. We're here just thawing out. Todd and I and a couple of our friends here from Alaska lending our support for the next president of our great United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Mr. Trump, you're right. Look back there in the press box. Heads are spinning. Media heads are spinning. This is going to be so much fun.
And it has been a blast. Palin working hard for Trump, and so many Americans doing the same. And just like so many of us, the governor never wavered in her amazing support. And I talked to the governor about Trump's comments regarding her. What did you think of Trump's words, and what's your take on his candidacy overall?
Well, of course, I absolutely respected even more his boldness for being so candid about his opinion of me. And I thought it was just awesome too that he shared that with you, Kevin, because heads exploded and other things exploded and across the U.S. as a result of your interview. And I certainly heard from a lot of people, a lot of new people even that I hadn't been in contact with before, wanting reaction about Donald Trump and his candidacy. So I just think, what a coup for you. You did great. And Donald Trump, I do have great respect for him. I have respect for anyone who's gone through the fire and is going through the fire because I can relate to that. And, I know it takes guts and tenacity and perseverance to kind of rise above some of the constructive criticism is great, but the just the haters, which is so unnecessary to have to face, in my opinion. But those who go through that, it makes me respect them even more, especially when they come out stronger. But with Donald Trump, I really appreciate that he is calling it like he sees it, which is truth. And he's not a politician. Thank the Lord. He's not a politician. So he doesn't owe anybody anything. Nobody owns him. So he's going to tell the truth and not couch all of his answers with some poll-tested kind of namby-pamby, vanilla-flavored answer to anything. He's going to be candid, and he's going to tell you what he thinks and what his solutions are, and that's so refreshing in politics. And then another thing with Donald Trump, this man is real success. Politicians so often love to tout their resume and the letters next to their name and their certificates on the wall. And, well, that resume, as opposed to real success, Donald Trump, he is the art of the deal in so many respects. He wrote that book called The Art of the Deal, but he literally knows the art of the deal. And here in America, we're losing deals left and right. We're losing we've lost our industrial base. We're losing our friends, our allies. We're losing, obviously, respect around the globe. We're losing morale in the United States military with the troops whom we so respect and love, and we want them to be able to respect and love their commander-in-chief and the organization, and all these things that we're losing deals on. Donald Trump is one who's saying, well, here's how you fix the problems. Here's how you seal the deal to win.
You know, you'd think Trump did something so awful by the way liberals imploded here, but all he did was say something good about you and leave the door open for a partnership with you. Now, who are you? You're someone who loves God, who fights for our Constitution and life and our soldiers and our Second Amendment and common sense. You'd think that'd be a positive, a lover of America with a servant's heart. It beats the criminals we've seen in Washington of late.
Well, with Donald Trump saying something positive about me, just kind of as a representative, though, of that message that you just conveyed. He's saying something nice, and then, heads exploded there, the liberals especially. Why in the world would you want to associate yourself with Sarah Palin? And by the way, I do know Donald Trump well, and so personally even, I can vouch for his character, his love of country, and his intelligence when it comes to these solutions that he proposes. But, Kevin, the funny thing is, heads exploded on the conservative side, too. People saying, oh, my goodness, how is it that you would appreciate Donald Trump's comments when and then they go down something old in his past that has happened, or something that in a lot of respects, when you consider the real state of our union and how desperate we are for solutions to get us back on the right track, a lot of the things that people are bringing up, they're petty, they're irrelevant. They are, you're never going to find a perfect candidate. But conservatives had some of those exploded too. And also because many have interpreted it as, you only like Donald Trump, he's your pick. And I'm thinking, he's awesome. I thank God that he's running. He's stirring it up. This is how you tap into the good part of a populist movement. These are the issues that the people are talking about: jobs, industry, the competition for our jobs via illegal aliens coming over open borders, all those things that Donald Trump has taken on. People actually like that candidness. They actually like hearing answers and not again, those poll-tested soundbite type of coached answers. No, people do appreciate that. But my point in saying something good, and I'll keep saying good things about Donald Trump, is really shifting the national debate in areas that we need to talk about. They need to come to the forefront of a national discussion and debate. I just have appreciated, though, having the opportunity to kind of speak personally and on a professional level about Mr. Trump's attributes.
I got to tell you, the thing that struck me funniest about all the coverage of Trump and his comments about you was some of the feedback I received. My favorite governor, people scolding me. They said I was humiliating you by putting you near Trump. They said I should be ashamed of myself for dragging Palin into this. And my thought was, wow, do people realize no one tells Sarah Palin what to do? And I thought, man, I wish I had that power. I'd say, hey, I'd make Sarah Palin come to all my kids' Little League games just so we could say, hey, look, there's the governor. So for people to give me that kind of power, I was like, hey, wow, that's pretty good. But no, not happening. So, imagine that misinformation out there.
With Palin behind him through it all, Trump took on all the phonies like Kasich and Bush. He fought back the attacks from crazy Bernie, goofy Elizabeth Warren, and, of course, crooked Hillary. Along the way, Trump picked the perfect running mate.
I would like to introduce a man who I truly believe will be outstanding in every way and will be the next vice president of the United States, Governor Mike Pence. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
And the two, Mr. Trump and Indiana Governor Mike Pence, have fought for us every day. Trump has shown off his courage, his common sense, and his heart. He showcased his wonderful family, and he outlined just how we can start to win again, perhaps summing it up best in Cleveland at the Republican National Convention.
So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. To all Americans tonight, in all of our cities and in all of our towns, I make this promise. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you and good night. I love you.
The winning starts now, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to make America great again. Sarah Palin stumping for Trump ahead of Election Day, hitting 3 states. Palin writing on Facebook this past week, going rogue again, finally hitting the trail with Willow and Piper to get out the vote for our next president. Donald J. Trump will hit Michigan, North Carolina, New York. When asked to travel this time, I knew it had to be Michigan, such a special place that can soon be the comeback state with robust industry again. Love it. Personally close to the heart, as my son lived there for hockey. Politically, long story, but this is where the whole she went rogue thing started in 2008, leading to my book Going Rogue. Even kicked off the most fun book tour ever there. Now, Michigan, it's up to you and every one of these United States to go rogue for America. Get out the vote for Trump, Pence. It is time you make America great again. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and check out sarahpac.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
We're hours counting down to the November 8th election, right? Our choice, it's very clear. Corruption versus cleanup, right? It's yelling, shouting, profanity-laced performances versus someone who's bringing ideas to the table, wanting to unite all people, all Americans. I don't know. What are you going to do? I know that I'm not worried about it. I can tell you that because Convention of States Project is the only way that we have to truly get our nation back on track. We can use Article 5 because, friends, it's very clear that a change in personnel will not fix everything that is challenging to the federal structure. Our government has usurped our power, and we've let them. I thought it was interesting that an acquaintance of mine on Facebook posted a really interesting perspective with the hope of trying to convince his last friends to vote for Trump. And of course, he highlights the 650,000 new emails that the New York Police Department discovered on Anthony Weiner's laptop. Well, more and more. We've got corruption. The Washington Post has uncovered 1,100 new criminal sources that were in addition to what was detailed in the book Clinton Cash. Do you think Hillary has spent even a minute thinking about the out-of-work steelworker in Pennsylvania or the perpetually unemployed auto worker in Detroit? Not a chance. There's absolutely no way. What are we going to do with 500 or 600,000 new Syrian refugees, none of whom have been vetted? The only thing that's going to happen is drive down our education, increase healthcare costs, more lost jobs. Of course, if you want that for your nation, then you're going to vote for Hillary, right? You get it. The list goes on and on. What I think is the polls stink. That's what I think. We don't really know, because I can't believe people are going to vote for Hillary. What I think is important is that we've got to look beyond November 8th. We've got to look what happens on November 9th, right? The concept that the citizen is at the bottom of the rung on the American ladder is absolutely wrong. The federal government should be on the bottom. The citizen needs to be big and powerful. It is time now to grow our citizen leaders to restore the Constitution and reclaim our power. And on November 9th, the Convention of States kicks into overdrive, are gearing up for the legislative session in 2017. It is time for us to take our power back and remind DC who is boss. Tuesday's it. It's one aspect of it. Election day, it's time to vote and use your voice, but on Wednesday, it's time to elevate citizens. It's time to raise ourselves up from underdog to hero. It's time to fix the structural issues plaguing the federal government once and for all, and we can only do that through the use of Article 5. The Convention of States project is a citizen-led movement to restore the Constitution and the rule of law, regardless of who wins. We, the people, are on the case. Our 2.1 million volunteers and supporters across this great nation aren't going anywhere, regardless who wins. But we are going to kick it into overdrive for 2017, and we are going to show and inspire and lead others to real victory toward changing and fixing the broken federal structure from the legislatures on up to the federal level. Of course, I'm going to be praying for Donald Trump. Get out and vote. Get a carpool of people and take them to the polls if they haven't voted in early voting. But the opportunity to restore America and instigate a revival spiritually, intellectually, and patriotically can return our nation back to self-governance is the Convention of States project. May God bless you. May God forgive us for being down on the job, for letting liberty's flame almost burn out. May you be blessed this week. May you vote. Read the Constitution on Election Day to remind yourselves of this amazing history we have, and the liberty that we have can only be tied to remembering our legacy and paying it forward. I want to know what you think. I can't wait to see them. Tweet me at Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizz Radio. May God find favor again on our nation, and may you be blessed, and let us win. I'm Tamara Colbert from Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, and at Tamara Colbert. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. A brand new piece on Donald Trump up right now. I want to thank Tamara Colbert and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Donald Trump and Sarah Palin. And thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, Narrowgate Security Agency. Visit narrowgate.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update right here on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.